Number 7, let's go to Fisk, who says, how do I read the Old Testament without getting bored and distracted 2 minutes in? Here's a better idea, Fisk. Read it anyways, even when you're bored and distracted. I'm brutal honesty, Fisk. I know you want honesty from me, and it comes from a place of love, okay? Your tolerance for that which is not entertaining is very low. You need to expand that tolerance. Now, I could tell you, study the passage deeply, and then you will see the rewarding and the beautiful things that are in the passage, and you will go, wow, this is so much more entertaining than I thought it was. But you'll never get there unless you expand your tolerance for not being entertained. You're like, 2 minutes in, I'm bored and distracted. Like, that's because the muscle that is thinking without being entertained is emaciated. Okay, so like, you gotta just push yourself and force yourself. And so that could be setting an environment where you can actually read and think carefully, and you're getting, into it in a lot of like focus. But so you maybe there's no sound, or maybe you only, like, sometimes when I'm having a really hard time focusing, I'll put on Bach or Chopin. I really like Chopin a lot. So there's like this big fat playlist of Chopin music. I'll put that on and listen to it, and it actually helps me focus. Someone else would get distracted by that. Find the things that help you focus. Take your phone, put it in some other location, get the Bible out, decide ahead of time, I'm going to read this much. Get your pencil out. I'm going to underline interesting bits. I'm going to summarize what I've read in a few words on the side or in a notepad. And then I'm going to do that every day. That is how you start to strengthen that muscle. And all of a sudden you will find, may take weeks, you will be like, hey, I can read more, and it doesn't have to be all entertaining to me. And I'm more focused because I've practiced myself being focused. It's very deliberate. You have to do it very much on purpose. I've always struggled with this personally. And so I've learned lots of tricks and things to do to try to like keep myself focused. Because I have to study for long periods of time. Like if you had told me when I was a kid, or even in my 20s, I should say, if I was like 20 years old, if you told me at the age of 20, Mike, you're going to basically study for a living, where you just read boring, otherwise boring material. A lot of times it is, especially when I'm doing projects like women in ministry. I would have been like, oh no, that sounds bad. That sounds real bad, because it's not something I'm inclined to do. You build that muscle over time.